Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be using two no legendary teams, one of them featuring Licky Licky with Lick, Shadow Ball, and Earthquake. This is a maxed out 100%. This is actually the first 100% I ever got in the game. I hatched it in Toronto, and I didn't realize it was 100% until the appraisal system came out, the very first one, where they showed you like the words and text. If you're a new player, then you know no idea what I'm talking about. So anyways, this is a horrible situation. So I am going to safe switch into Licky Licky. It does have Lick, so it's going to do quite a bit of damage. And I go into Registeel. I'm like, okay, great. This is the matchup I want. And I was like, well, if they bait me, this is my pretty much my only chance to win. So anyways, I go for the Earthquake, hoping that they don't shield. No shield. That's awesome for me. And looking at it, and I'm like, okay, are they gonna bait me or are they gonna hit me with the Focus Blast? They bait me again. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Okay, so I go for the Shadow Ball, hoping to KO, because I obviously don't want to get farmed down. And then here comes Gyarados. So I'm in a good position right now. This Gyarados, I really hope it doesn't have Hydro Pump. It switches out into... I have no idea. Well, it kind of makes sense for me to do that switch because the Gyarados Swampert matchup is pretty terrible. And this is not amazing, but it's not terrible. It is Dragon Breath, so it's going to do quite a bit of damage. So, but I should be able to take out both shields while only using one. And I go for the shield because I'm pretty confident I can make it to... Earthquake, and then there's the Earthquake, and this should grab the second shield. Oh no, it did not. Okay, which is fine. And I am not. I'm gonna shield this. I really shouldn't have. I guess they may only have one charge move, and I'm like, please don't be Hydro Pump. The thing is, like, if it was Hydro Pump. Because like a spoiler, later I get hit by a Hydro Pump. It does like quite a bit. It doesn't KO me, but it takes out like quite a decent chunk. So so I win that first match. Pretty close, pretty intense. It's like difficult not to use, you know, Registeel or Giratina or Cresselia or a number of different ones, but certainly playable. So we're in the Swampert mirror match. I have a rank 1 Ultra League Swampert, so I know I'm gonna lose this matchup because of CMP. So I try to be like a little tricky here. I was like, maybe I can self piggyback. I don't know if that necessarily still works. So it looks like I got the self piggyback, but it's very unlikely because, well. Yeah, because they end up... Oh, well, maybe I did. I don't know. Because I end up winning that CMP. I don't know. And then I'm going to lose this one, which is not great. And I thought maybe I was a turn ahead or it was going to continue on. And I go for the Hydro Cannon. And then I'm looking to undercharge. And I'm going to switch out into... Togekiss, hoping to KO beforehand. They switched into Charizard, and I'm like, for the love of everything, please let me survive this Blast Burn. And I survived this Blast Burn. Thank goodness I have a decent one, like rank 157. It says in the name. We'll see when I pick my teams. Anyway, so there you go, Clefable. Okay, so not great for me since I don't have any steel types, but I do have Licky Licky, who's a very tanky Pokemon, and it's gonna do quite a bit. I'm pretty sure Shadow Ball is more energy efficient than Earthquake, but let me just double check that. So they switch out, and I decide to sack Swampert. Was like that the best play? Maybe. And then I end up farming, and then this is how tanky Licky Licky is. It's almost as tanky as Snorlax, just slightly less. And then they hit me with the Psychic. Thank goodness no defense drop, and I'm able to beat it with like basically 1 HP left. I have like almost nothing left. Okay, let's see what's more efficient. Pretty sure. Oh no, Earthquake is slightly more energy efficient. Oh wow. Okay. Well, that. Yeah. Okay. I guess I should. Earthquake. I did. Okay. I could have won the one match then. Okay. Well, you're gonna see in a little bit. I think I get paired up with the same person. Yes, I do. Okay. All right. So let's see how we do this. So I switch over. They switch out a little bit faster into Registeel. I decide to change it up, go for the Shadow Ball, hoping to grab the shield, which I do. And then I'm like, please flash cannon me, please. They end up focus blasting me. So we both played out better, but it works out a lot better for my opponent than it does for me. Very unfortunate. So I'm going to go for this Earthquake, hoping that it KOs. No, okay. I switch out into Swampert, and I really should have just hit this Hydro Cannon. And I end up having to shield here, and then they switch out, and yeah, and then I'm in a really not great situation. I want to do as much damage. Yeah, I put myself in a pretty terrible situation. I should just throw in the Hydro Cannon. That would have put this Registeel at a much lower health. So, yeah, I'm like, okay, the only way I can win is if I get a flamethrower onto Registeel. That's basically my plan. And then, oh, and a little bit of lag there. And then I go for the Earthquake. And then they go for the Farm Down. And we're lagging again. And they go for the Ancient Power. And they don't switch out quite yet. And I'm like, okay, I only have one chance here. Go for the sack. And I sack my Licky Licky. And I'm like, okay, I still have a chance here. I don't know if Ancient Power would have KO'd. Probably not. Would have been pretty close on the Ancient Power. I didn't want to... Well, I kind of risked it either way. And then I may be able to KO that Giratina. I don't think that lag would have made a difference. I think I get to the Earthquake regardless. But, you know, they might have got to a Dragon Claw afterwards. Okay, so anyways, going to go with the same team again. Okay. All right, let's see how we do in the Swampert mirror match again. So I got to figure out how to play this because having the rank 1 is really good in some matchups. It definitely allows me to win and survive in some matchups where I survive with a sliver of HP, but it also is pretty bad in some other matchups. So I go for the Hydro Cannon here, hoping KO. That would be too crazy. And I was hoping to switch out into... so I shield here, and then I switch out into Licky Licky. It still does a lot of damage, but it takes off a lower percentage of health than compared to Swampert. And let's see what they switch out to. They switch into Alolan Muck. Okay, this is fine. I need to go for this Earthquake. Really don't have much else play here. And I go for this Earthquake, hoping that it connects. And man, they're farming me up so well. I think I decide to let this go. And then here I make this really stupid mistake. I'm like up a shield. I have a little bit of energy on my Swampert, but I kind of get too tricky. I was hoping that they would Dark Pulse me, and I'm like, oh god. And I basically need to play a guessing game here. if I guess correctly, and then I think I win. But because I didn't guess correctly, I'm going to get sludge bombed here. I definitely would have been able to shield, and then I would have to burn the shield regardless. And then I would have been able to farm down and all this stuff, right? And then I end up against Togekiss, so this is not so great. So I decided to try to go for the back-to-back. If I had Sludge Wave, this would be amazing, but I don't. So I'm in a terrible. If I would have had Sludge Wave, he does. Well, you need Earthquake for better No, you still against Registeel, but like late game, and then as well against Giratina, just doesn't, like, those other moves just don't hit hard enough. Okay, regardless, so risky play on my part, and my opponent took advantage. If I would have called the bait correctly, then yeah. So this is game 5 in the set, so you know what's gonna happen. This is a positive matchup for me. I can just straight Hydro Cannon. Don't need to do anything too fancy, so I'm building up for a back-to-back. And I'm looking to hit the second one. Unfortunately, I was not able to hit the back-to-back. The charm went through, which is fine. And then I'm going to switch out. And I switch out into Togekiss. I'm like, okay, this is a very positive matchup. I'm like, wow, they're taking a really long time. And I'm like, is this Hydro Pump? And I even said to myself, like, if this is Hydro Pump, I'm going to lose. It ends up being Hydro Pump. I don't know if... I end up getting destroyed in this match. So, and I make a mistake here. I go for... This is a very questionable play, because this Hydro Cannon probably would have had more value at another point in time. Let's see what's coming out next. Probably Clefable. And I think I'm shielding this. And something in the back that absolutely destroys me. And I'm like, okay, I can't take too many charge damage. And then here, I kind of make a mistake. I get a little bit too greedy. I was hoping to catch my opponent off guard, and I could just do like 2 licks, but eating another charm was exactly what I didn't want to do. And debatably, I should have just farmed. Well, okay, I would have looked like a genius if I would have farmed all the way down. Anyways, I'm gonna get double charge moved or whatever. Yeah, and then they end up sludge waving me for the flex. So GG, very well played. Shielding that Hydro Pump definitely would have. I don't know if I still win that match. I'd be down. Oh, I'd be even shields, and then I have energy on my Togekiss. I probably have to shield the charge move from the Clefable. Okay, so I'm in a decent matchup. Man, the switch game in rank 10 is pretty good. So, anyways, I go for the straight for a Sludge Wave because I know my Alolan Muck is good enough to survive and get to the second Sludge Wave against the Togekisses. So, and they do it really. This is a really nice switch. And I'm going to switch out into Poliwrath, and Poliwrath is definitely designed for... Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot to change teams. I am using a new team, Alolan Muck, Poliwrath, and Togekiss, and I play this like... So, I play this part, great, okay, that's awesome, right? And then I should just immediately Ice Punch, and I lose the CMP tie with... and then, in theory, I should actually shield it. Well, I ended up surviving with 1 HP, so... but not great for me. I definitely calling that bait, and then I should have threw it right away. But I got way too risky, and then I'm in a positive situation right now. But they have Togekiss in the back. And this is a Dragon Breath variant. So I switch out to catch the Dragon Claw. And then they're staying in. They're looking to burn my last shield, which is definitely the right play. They go for the Ancient Power, and they get the buff. I was like, oh man, yeah. I to be honest, I should have committed to fainting them down and then through the charge move, because I definitely could have got to it. I definitely could have got. So I made a huge mistake. I definitely could have burned the last shield, and then with the charms, that definitely would have been enough for. I don't know if this Dark Pulse even KOs. It probably doesn't. Togekiss is pretty tanky, so really nice play by my opponent. Let me just double check. Yeah, stupid play. I got kind of panicked because of the buff. Yeah, which I really shouldn't have. Alolan Muck. So Dark Pulse does 36 damage. That's like 25%. Of 144. Yeah, it's exactly 25%. So I would have lost regardless. So they end up switching. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna bait here and then hit the Dark Pulse. So that's fine. And they're gonna go up for that charge move, and I'm gonna go for the Dynamic Punch. Man, so I'm like, is this a Earthquake or not? And they end up hitting the Earthquake. Oh, man, I lose the CMP tie again. I guess I should know I'm going to lose the CMP tie. Yeah, I should know that. Very fortunate that I ended up winning it because of the residual energy I had from the 2 charge moves. I tried to switch out. I probably debatably should have. I should have. I could have played this a little bit differently. I could have came in with Alolan Muck as well and farmed down with Snarl. That would have been super risky, but probably would have ended up being the better play. So here comes Togekiss, and they make this beautiful play here into Giratina, because I kind of figured that they had Giratina in the back based off of the switch in, and then these Shadow Claws are just doing so much damage, so they played it really well. And I really should have shielded here. I have no idea why I didn't shield here, because that probably would have been my only play, because I ended up having to use a shield here, so really dumb move on my part. And then they get the buff too. Oh man, yeah, and that I would have lost anyways, probably. Well, yeah, I don't know, probably, but no, I almost definitely would have lost anyways. The right play on my part would have been to Dark Pulse and then to then farm down with Togekiss and then throw the Ancient Power, and then I have a lot of health left and all this stuff, right? Instead I burn the shield, and then they get the buff. So yeah, sometimes like the thing is, like I get in this bad habit of like not shielding when my Pokemon's at really low health but has energy, and that energy could flip the match, which is the case there. So this is not a great situation for me. A lot of people don't like shielding their Snorlaxes, so I'm just going to go for the Sludge Wave, do quite a bit of damage, and I have to call whether or not this is Earthquake or not. Ends up being a Body Slam, and I am looking to hit this Dark Pulse, so I figured that this is just another Body Slam. So I go for the Dark Pulse. I think they realize like how much this Body Slam are doing, and I am looking to race them to this charge move. End up losing the race, but I'm willing to burn the shield. I want to get switch advantage, and it actually wasn't even CMP. I just didn't click the charge move, and that's the advantage of these like one turn moves, able to get ahead of me and get the energy. And then here comes Suicune, and they play this Suicune super aggressively. So watch this. Like I hit them with one Dark Pulse, and these Snarls do not do very much damage. Alolan Muck is very tanky. I actually should have went for a Sludge Wave, but I didn't want to get greedy. And I grabbed their last shield, But I definitely could have made it to Sludge Wave, which would have been pretty deadly. But they were going to shield anyways. So I switch out into Poliwrath because I know none of the charge moves are going to be able to do very much damage. So they Ice Beam. So they must have Ice Beam, Bubble Beam. And then I switch out into Togekiss, and I'm like, okay, hopefully no Ancient Power. And it's just a Dragon Claw, so that's good for me. And in theory, I could actually probably survive this Ancient Power, but and they might only have Dragon Claw. And I go for the Ancient Power, but you'll see like Togekiss is very tanky. Well, not very tanky, decently tanky, and these Ice Beams are non-stab, or they undercharged it. That's actually probably good for me to figure out. So this Ice Beam should have did 70. Yeah, it looks like there's no stab on it. Suicune is very bulky, which means it's not very attack oriented. Trying out some of these like non-legendary teams is difficult. All right. Took a little while to get that pairing, but that's totally fine. Okay, so Alolan Muck versus Alolan Muck. I actually don't know what's more energy efficient. I'm so rusty at this game. Energy efficient, Dark Pulse or Sludge Wave. So Sludge Wave is slightly more energy efficient, 1.69. So I know I have a very high, bulky Alolan Muck. So I'm like, okay, I gotta play this differently. I'm gonna lose this mirror match, or like be down a shield. So I'm like, okay, maybe I could throw off my opponent, hit this Sludge Wave, and then I go for it, and then I go for this Dark Pulse, and I'm like, don't tell me my opponent's gonna Sludge Wave me too. I should have saved it to the end. That would have been way smarter for me to do. And even though my Alolan Muck is very bulky, tying on fast moves, so actually probably would have been better for my opponent to probably double. It probably would have been better just straight Dark Pulse. You better use the energy. I switched into Togekiss, and that, I want to say that was a informed guess, and it slightly was because Alolan Muck was like a fairy counter, so I'm like, okay, maybe that's their only fairy counter. It actually ended up not being it, and I just got lucky. And really should go for Blast Burn, because Blast Burn is going to be more energy efficient than Dragon Claw. But I guess if you want to apply shield pressure, right, like then it probably is better. So I end up going for the Ice Punch. They don't shield, and then I'm like, okay, here's my thing. I was like, okay, if they go for Blast Burn, which would KO me, I'm just gonna farm down anyways, and with Togekiss, and then put myself in a pretty good situation. And I switch out immediately into Togekiss, and then at this point in time, I have 2 shields, so all I need to do is just charm down. All right. And I go for another shield. If they go for the Ancient Power, which is definitely the correct call. And I take the win there. Okay. Oh, is that all the battles? I thought I did one more. Anyways, okay. Overall, so what do I think of these teams? So this Licky team, I think if I would have played a little bit better, it definitely would have been more effective. That switching and trying to get fancy, all that stuff ended up being super costly for me. Left me in a pretty terrible situation. And then the other game, I got outplayed on both of them. One, I just made a kind of a dangerous, reckless error, even though I was technically up in the position, or at least even. and then I made a reckless decision to try to catch a charge move, and then I ended up losing the guessing game. My opponent read me correctly. So, anyways, this other team, Alolan Muck, Poliwrath, and Togekiss, I think pretty good. It is a little weak. Well, I'm very reliant on Poliwrath to take any Registeals, which I don't think I actually encountered. I haven't seen a ton. I've seen, let's see, I've done about 25. I've probably done like 30 Ultra League matches, and I probably have seen Registeals in like 30% of them or so. So, not in these not that many in these sets, but in my first set, I saw a lot of Registeel. So this team is a little bit weak to Registeel, or at least very reliant on Poliwrath to line it up. And I don't think very many people would switch in a Registeel onto Alolan Muck. They might, but anyways, I thought these teams were pretty decent. I think you can definitely play Go Battle League, Ultra League without any legendaries. It does make it a little bit more difficult because Giratina and Registeel are amazing, but Swampert, Togekiss, Alolan Muck, there's a whole slew of Pokemon that are not legendaries that I think are very effective. So anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys like this video, you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.